nerds, and welcome to The Gutter. My name is Steven. I'm the host of The Gutter Nerds podcast. Joining me today, a bunch of Twitch streamers and Twitch personalities. Over here, Scorpical.
Hello.
Yeah, we have an audio component. Feel free to say hello.
Just not wave. Oh, take it.
To my right is Nerdez.
Hello.
The producer of the podcast. She's also on our Wednesday night streams. In the middle there, fan of Ghost Recon, best game in the world?
No, but I love
Favorite
it.
game.
It's my favorite game.
Is Trexus.
Mm-hmm. Hi.
And all the way up from the deep south is Just Gravy Baby.
Wow, guys.
How's it going? What you been playing? Jonathan, what you been playing?
Been playing a lot of Wildlands. Mm-hmm. And, a bit of the PUBG.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And a little bit of the,
little this and a little that.
yeah, a little bit of everything.
Anything crazy happened lately? Stand out? Any
Man,
quick
I'm telling
bit
you.
stories?
Right, for me the crazy thing is how close yet how far I'm getting in PUBG. It's like, oh man, top 10, I can do, no, I can't. No, that's my limit. Every single time. I can do really well, but never...
Consistently well?
So you're telling me you can't finish?
Oh. No. Shots fired.
I'm not saying I can.
We're like,
I'm not saying I can.
You're saying.
we're 2
But I'm
minutes
just saying.
in, and the shots have been fired.
Shots been fired.
Corporate cow.
What about you, Whitney? What you been playing?
Paladins. I took a little throwback and played some
I miss
Paladins.
Paladins.
I know, it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it.
And heads up, Paladins is adding a Battle Royale component to their game.
They would.
Inspired by PUBG and Fortnite.
I'd say by PUBG.
So, yeah. Or H1Z1. So here's the thing, guys. Heads up. I want to throw out real quick that I know that H1Z1 started everything, so we're going to give credit where credit is due. H1Z1 is sort of the progenitor of...
So is Arma 3.
And Arma 3, thank you, of this whole thing. But tonight, we are going to be specifically focused on PUBG and Fortnite, those two, and as they relate to each other.
Your mic's on.
Yeah, it's on.
We just have the more sensitive ones.
It's just, it's probably a little bit different, but it looks like all the audio's bouncing and banging there, so it should be okay.
Yeah, it's working.
That's as good as we can get, I think.
Fix
Sarah,
your ears, game guys.
What you been playing?
A little bit of Fortnite, a little bit of PUBG, a little bit of GTA.
Which one are you having the most fun with right now?
Well, I've already been playing Fortnite and PUBG for a while, so probably GTA.
Like getting to learn that
Yeah,
is...
that one's solid fun, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. We did a couple of missions. She wants to... I was like, we need to get all this stuff. We can get you a bunch of guns. And she's like, I just really want to go shopping. Okay. Well, okay.
Typical lady. Typical lady.
Let's go rob this convenience store.
I just like to go shopping.
Yeah.
I wanna.
Yeah, it's good stuff. What you been playing, Kyle?
I've been mixing it up a little bit, Steven.
Okay.
I've been playing a fighting game.
Really?
I've been playing a little bit of Dragon Ball Z Fighter. I haven't been streaming it, but I've been playing Dragon Ball Z Fighter, and it's pretty fun.
You liking it?
It's hard as hell. Like it is a hard fighting game. Like I getting the controls down, knowing what your counters are, and knowing everything, it's been great. Learning something new.
Speaking of Dragon Ball Z, I was babysitting a kid today. I'll keep this short. And I was pushing him on the swing, and I kept yelling Kamehameha every time I pushed him. And he would you have to stop the Kamehamehas. It's like, you can't stop the Kamehamehas.
You pronounce it different. You say...
It's Kamehameha.
Kamehameha. But I've only ever heard anyone say the way Jonathan said.
Kamehameha sounds totally like Kamehameha.
You say Kamehameha.
We'll look this up
Anyway.
later.
I mean, one of us is wrong and the other is me.
I've never seen it.
Debatable.
I've never seen it, so I don't know. I have been playing, outside of our normal streaming schedule, I've been playing Hellblade on Friday nights, just in, Sarah has to go to bed early, so I'm going to play Hellblade.
That's the Senua Sacrifice?
Yes, yeah.
Ooh,
It's on PS4 and on Steam, I believe, and it's super good. If you guys, it's beautiful, the combat is solid, but you have to use headphones, because the whole point of the game is sort of who's talking to you in your ear. So if you play Hellblade, the game will tell you use headphones, but trust the game. Use headphones. Yeah.
I'm sorry, Lithic. I'm sorry. My schedule's crazy. I just have to say I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Let's go to bed.
I mean, and you typically are on 2 streams a week, and then you play games with your boyfriend.
Busy
And
schedules.
Yeah.
Life.
Yeah, life happens. Adulting.
I still have to finish Payday 2 with Game Guy.
That's what I've been dealing with.
And
But I
have to
really...
start that up. Now that I got my computer back, I can finally jump in with you guys.
I like watching you playing the new Assassin's Creed.
Oh yeah, Assassin's Creed Origins I started on Friday, and that game's fucking awesome.
It's really pretty.
It's
I like
really
it.
cool. So we're going to get right into it. First thing we're going to do is we're going to talk about the one that came first. good old PUBG.
Woo!
Now, if you have,
I'm sorry.
The one that came first, and everyone's like, or like,
oh, it's a sex joke. It's a sex joke.
every single time. Ever.
I didn't say it this time.
Speaking of coming first, I came first in
Oh,
the
I'm
solo chicken dinner.
Oh, you
You
did.
did. You
I
did.
And you were very gracious about it. It was
You had
Good
lots.
job.
You know what? You
And-
did well. I'm proud of you.
and
you had a lot of time
the
to
match
play.
did well. I had 5 kills. I was like out
You did a
there
good
being
job.
aggressive.
I've been
and,
dealing with life.
You
And-
sang a lot, and I think that's what helped you.
Same with my Fortnite solo victory. As I sang, it kept my. There came a point where I was like, my
Do you have a
adrenaline
playlist
kicked
now?
in.
Like a playlist of victory songs that you've been
No,
singing?
unfortunately, no. But there were things. Well, what I do is just sing whatever's going on. I'm walking to the bush. I'm gonna kill this guy. Whatever.
What are you singing?
I couldn't.
I just make it up.
Yeah.
And
You're
so
singing the Cleveland show. I'm going to the bush, gonna kill the guy.
I couldn't do it.
Maybe it's another to the show. But but yeah, I had to fight adrenaline. So anyway,
It's true.
real quick, in terms of what we have played, you have played a shitload of PUBG, probably more than anyone.
Yep.
You play mostly squads.
Yep.
Okay. I have, and you've played it, and you've dabbled in Fortnite, maybe a total of maybe 2 hours, 2.5 hours.
Right.
Okay. I've played a shitload of both PUBG and Fortnite across sort of all modes, but not anywhere near as much PUBG as Calvin has in terms of the hours. Sarah has done both, and you've played solo and duos and squads
Yeah.
on both of them.
Yeah.
Same.
Same.
I'm exclusively duos and squads. I almost never play
Almost
solo.
never play solo. Okay.
You're like me.
I stress out too much, and I'm a social gamer
Yep.
at heart.
This is something that happens when we're playing online, is that if it's me and Jonathan, or if I die or something and like I stop talking, Jonathan will go, Steve-O? I need you to keep
What
talking.
happens is I turn into Jeff Goldblum from Jurassic Park, and I'm like, well, now I'm here talking to myself.
Yeah.
Oh, that's chaos. Oh, Jesus.
And then like every now and then I'll like, especially if we're streaming, I'll sit there for a second and then Jonathan will be doing
start
his
hearing the
thing,
deep breathing.
and then I'll go, hey game guy, and Jonathan will go, Jesus Christ, you scared the shit out of me.
I'm sitting here playing, and it's... Favorite! You have to warn me!
Actually, so we're going to talk about the ins and outs of both these games to get you guys comfortable with them, just in case you're not familiar with them. First up, we're going to show you some PUBG stuff. So
Hey,
the whole point of this game is
What?
a battle royale. You are yourself, or in a duo, or in a squad, and
Or by yourself against a squad.
or by yourself against a squad if you want. And all you have to do is kill everybody or outlive everybody else. So you start in a plane, like you saw. The map in PUBG is very big.
It was the worst.
There is a little bit of unfinished glitchiness to PUBG because it is still in early access.
Esports ready.
And so once you hit the ground, it's time to loot. So you run around, you look for your guns. You have guns, armor, you have attachments for guns you can find, med kits, and boosters to help
There
you heal and stuff as well. This is our
Look at me
squad.
go.
And
Oh, this is when Nerdist just like ran for it.
but
Yeah,
Y'all were like, let's sneak up, and I just
all right,
like-
guys, I got the door. I got. Oh, there goes Nerd Edge. All right.
yeah, and so we work as a team.
Yeah, it worked really well.
Except for when I stormed.
Y'all
Me
do.
and,
Y'all are doing
Oh my God,
interesting
I was-
tactics. I would never funnel
All
in like
like
Steve-O,
that,
I was
or
so
like
in your
that.
way.
And
I'm
right
so
there's the guy
sorry.
upstairs.
We are
Guy
learning.
under the
There's a
stairs.
guy under the stairs, and this is early on, guys. So we are still learning how to fucking play.
I'm like, there's more.
Nerdez gets downed by someone under the stairs, so we go back, and there we go. I
I
downed
got
him.
down. Where am I?
I
Oh,
want you to
see.
notice. I want you to watch right here. See how I see my teammate get in my line of fire and stop. Okay, that's important.
Wait.
So I want you guys to remember.
Was I down?
Yes. Or no, Jonathan.
No, Jonathan
No, it was
was.
Jonathan got
Yeah,
down.
so I walked up the stairs. I was like, wait a minute. I take a step back. I lean out, and that guy like
As you play,
blacked my
the
face.
play area gets smaller and smaller. So right now we are just inside the play zone and we're getting shot at.
Oh.
Oh, friendly fire! Trexus knocked you
that
out.
was me.
Line of fire is kind of important, huh?
Oh no.
I think Steve has a
That's
theme.
so sad. That you
Where's
put that
your
on
ruler?
here.
Just smack me.
Damn.
I'm over it. It's
What
fine.
a petty move.
No, actually, it happened. I didn't realize those things happened back to back. Where I was like, "Oh, I better be careful," and then you shut. Anyway,
And with Vic says, and you still won't close a damn door behind you.
yeah, we got.
How do you?
We're getting better at closing doors.
So yeah, we.
That makes me sad.
This was early on.
Very
This was
early.
early
That
on.
was one of the first ones we did together.
That's
Right.
going to be our excuse for the next, like,
Yep.
6 weeks.
It's early
So
on. Next year I'm gonna say
JB
that.
is now in the blue. Is what it's called. He's outside of the play area. He's trying to run to get back in, and
Is it still called the Storm in
the
PUBG?
Fortnite it's called
Okay.
the Storm, and in
I
PUBG
don't
it's just
remember.
called.
There's somebody in front of you. Kill him,
There's someone
Jonathan.
in front of him.
Please
And so
kill him.
He's gonna. This is
You ran
But
past him.
No, I didn't.
Okay.
the priority is to get into the.
The priority normally would be to get into the blue, but I think at this point Jonathan was like, you know what, I'm not gonna make it, so I'd like the kill.
And for me,
So
Oh, so
he
he
stopped
stopped
admitting. Wow, he didn't even look behind him. Really?
Jonathan
Wow.
downs him and just
Yeah.
runs past to let Zone finish him off, but Jonathan doesn't have any health left.
So you didn't.
Berg! I
So-
jumped. I remember screaming
So
blurg.
they came
I think.
in number 12 there. So you loot, you try to survive. The play
Loot
area
and shoot.
closes around you, loot and shoot.
And just to point out to
Yeah.
Lithic,
Do some stuff.
I don't think you over critique him. I don't think you critique him enough. Okay.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh,
he
Lithic
needs-
is real specific about.
he needs to know the things.
Right.
Like, I mean, I would be in a struggle bus. I'd be.
Struggle bus?
As a group, we have learned a whole lot
And
over the
struggle
past
bus.
Yeah.
couple weeks. Like, we had a really cool ambush that we set up outside a house when these people came in a couple weeks ago on vehicles. Remember? That was when you got like 2 kills. Nerdez got
Yeah.
like 2 kills. They came into the alleyway and we like sort of popped out, like fanned in, and so. So the next one we're gonna watch, we're gonna sort of show you Fortnite now, a little bit, and we'll show you the differences. They're both, that premise of Battle Royale is the same for both games, and in Fortnite, as you can tell immediately, the graphics are very different. It
Very
is
cartoony,
whimsical, cartoony.
cell shady a little.
Yeah.
If you were to think of Overwatch, or if you were to think of Team Fortress 2, very similar graphics types to those type of games. Also,
Yeah.
similar style.
Yes.
So,
It looks like it looks like it could be inspired by WoW a little bit too, with the way the character models are built. But same thing, you drop from a battle bus this time instead of a freight.
fucking battle bus.
Plane.
What the fuck?
Yep.
Sorry.
And the thing
Of all
about
things, that's probably the least important to critique.
It
How
is.
you jump out.
It is bothersome. It's a bus.
Like, look at how much further you can move, though, with this. Like,
No,
you've got
we'll
distance.
get into that.
Oh, thank you, Tiny Termite. We appreciate the view. Lurk away. Have fun. So similarly, you drop. The looting is a little bit different. It's easier to see guns and loot in this game because they're bright and shiny. You also have materials, and you probably saw with that pickaxe that you can destroy things. So there is a level of destructibility in this game. If you can bust through a wall, a floor, a ceiling. I think I do it again here in a second. Also, there are chests in Fortnite. There are no loot chests in PUBG, except I guess technically there is if you kill someone. Their loot doesn't just drop on the floor, it drops in a little chest. In Fortnite, when you kill someone, all the loot drops on the floor. But also the other thing that you see here is there are colors of weapons. So each weapon has a
ranking.
a rank, and as you go up the rank, it does more damage. And the way that the damage is done, and these specifics I'm not entirely sure on, so someone feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. In PUBG, a bullet will do a specific amount of damage, no matter... It'll vary depending on if someone is wearing armor,
Correct.
or if you hit him in the arm or the head or the chest or something
Right,
like that.
so specific parts of the body, depending on where they're angled or have higher potential of taking less damage and or more damage, depending if it's covered.
In Fortnite, you don't. You have shield.
It doesn't fucking matter.
And you have shield and you have health, and it eats away at your shield and then eats away at your health. But there is an RNG element to the bullets landing. So if imagine a blue assault rifle shot in the chest, there is a range that it will hit, and I don't think it's a terribly wide range, except in the case of the shotguns. I think have a stupid, crazy range that need to be balanced.
Yes.
But when someone dies, they spill all their loot, and so you can see very clearly from a ways away. Oh, and this is Trex is using bush tactics. You can use bush tactics. You can hide. You can.
I called the old good BMW. The bush and wait.
Bush and wait.
One with the bush.
That was
Tried the good old bush and wait.
a Nerda's like golden quote.
But this is
Yes, I was proud of that moment.
I love that.
so you can see now like top 12. Trex's is there's 11 left.
I remember
Along
this.
with her.
I remember this specific.
Oh yeah.
There's some-
I sat there and I saw
Big-ass
the,
crazy
I saw the
guns.
golden minigun and I was just like,
Yes.
touch it, just touch it.
But I didn't want to touch it
At
because
this point, you were yelling,
your
"I'm
logic-
panicking."
Your logic was smart. That
But-
gun takes a long wind up.
One of the things that happened just there is you actually shot through the wall and you took away his cover and managed to keep shooting at them. Team placed 7th in that one. So there's the quick rundown of sort of the briefing. We're going to get to more of the differences here and then start more debating and stuff like that. So just from the graphics perspective, which game do you guys like better?
That was a hard one for me.
Just
I
graphically
initially liked, not, oh gosh, I'm totally...
Fortnite?
I liked Fortnite better, but I think the graphics combined with gameplay style turn it into more childish and, not childish, casual. And so I ended up leaning towards Fortnite and then whipping back over to PUBG's more realistic style.
What about you?
well, like you said, it's easier to see the equipment. I have a really hard time differentiating between some of like the smaller accessories when they're on the ground, and there's always like trash everywhere, like the nasty bathrooms and the trash all over the floor. So sometimes I have trouble
Hey, Sarah Vance, welcome.
picking out what's what. So I like both because I understand that they're both very different.
Yeah,
But
but if you're
Gun to your head.
just from
Purple glowing gun
graphical
to your head.
perspective,
I'd still go with PUBG, I think, because
okay,
yeah.
I don't know which
Gun
one
to
I
my
like
head.
better. To me, they're like both different.
it's so different.
It's like
hard to
one's
compare.
more like I
Your
feel like
head.
Fortnite's more
It can't be a
whimsically and
decision.
cartoony, maybe,
Mm-hmm.
It'll be
and
a month.
PUBG. I feel like they tried to be more realistic with it.
Right.
So I think I personally like the Fortnite better, but it's hard to directly compare it to me because they're just completely different styles.
For sure, and these comparisons are not entirely fair. You know, it's mostly for the sake of
I'll
discussion.
borrow your pen real quick.
But sure, what about you, Cal?
So, stylistically, I like PUBG better. I would
Yeah.
tell you that graphically, stylistically wise, I do like it better graphically. Now, when we're talking about graphics, you have to come and think about a few other things, guys. So, Epic Games made an awesome game for them. They're doing very well with it, but it runs a lot smoother than PUBG does.
Yes.
Okay, they're using a high more. So PUBG is more stressful on your computer because of how intense they've made the game. But graphically, I will say Fortnite runs smoother. So if you're
Yes,
looking for it running on a computer, running on something, it's going to run a lot smoother.
will-
I can wholeheartedly agree with that,
Now,
actually.
but when it comes to style that I enjoy
Yeah, just
playing
the
and
artistic
more
style.
the artistic
Yeah.
style, I go with PUBG because I don't like that whimsical. And
You want something more
I
realistic.
want
and
something
great.
more realistic. I want it to feel more competitive.
Okay.
I don't
And-
know if this is, sorry. I don't know if
go
this is a graphics thing, but I feel like in Fortnite, like in PUBG, it'll make me like almost go backwards. And I don't know if it's just like a
Yeah,
glitch.
we
like
lag
that's-
too.
yeah,
like
like
you're-
to me, I don't know what that would be, but to me, like in PUBG, that happens all the time, and that almost never happens
There's
when
a
I
lot
play Fortnite.
more lag in PUBG than there is
yes,
in
All that
it is.
Fortnite.
nightmare
Flag
mode,
clipping.
like when you're running from the T-Rex and you're like, no matter how far you go, you keep going back.
Take a few steps back. Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
I don't know if
I
that's
call it
graphic
nightmare
thing or
mode.
not, but
it's
just something I
a
noticed.
loading and
Oh,
Right.
okay.
all sorts
It's
of.
a buffering loading.
So, I agree. It's super hard to compare. They're so different. The thing that I'm glad both exist because I can experience both of them.
Yeah.
I guess if I had to pick one, I have to go one way. I would lean PUBG because I'm more immersed by the realistic nature
Right,
of it
you're immersive.
than I am
Exactly.
the
It
cartoon.
makes you feel more part of it as opposed to
Right.
watching it.
I don't get nearly as anxious with Fortnite. Like if I'm like in a situation, like I mean I do because I'm a new gamer.
Yeah.
But like when I'm in PUBG, I'm like I'm about to die.
Yeah.
The stress is real.
Yeah, in Fortnite it's like, oh well, this is gonna really suck if I just start over. But like PUBG, I'm like I am literally going to
about to
die.
die.
Is it,
Yeah.
So would you guys all agree that PUBG is more stressful than Fortnite? Is that across the board?
Yes.
Yes.
Well,
absolutely.
I also feel like it's harder. So in that aspect,
It is much
I
harder.
think
It's much harder.
And-
that's also plays a part as to why it's more stressful.
One thing that's very important to both of these games, similar to Hellblade, these games you almost have to play with headphones.
You have to play with headphones.
It's
I don't have any headphones. Imagine how good I'll be when I have them.
all the sounds of footsteps will keep you
Your right
alive.
and your left ear, you'll hear things.
I
from the right side, left
remember
side.
the first time I played with headphones when I got my headphones and I was like, all right, let's see if I... And I immediately turned and I was like, there he is! Like, I knew the second
freaks
that
me
bullet-
out.
Sorry if I scared
Yeah.
the crap
No,
out of you.
it's just like
And sound design for both of these games is very good because you can tell by the sound if someone is above you.
Yeah.
Like it just sounds like someone's above you.
Right.
And things like that,
You
like
hear that?
the hollow footsteps in both games. And but the thing that PUBG does that I like a lot better is that it's a little bit more subtle. Like there's more subtleties to it. In Fortnite, it all sort of sounds like shots, but you can, if you're running in PUBG in a field, right, and you hear, you know that no one's shooting at you. But if you hear,
Like right next to you.
you know that they're shooting at you. You
Right.
can tell.
But not only that, you can tell the type of weapon very...
You can tell snipers between assault rifles or submachine guns,
Yeah.
pistols, silenced, whether it's silenced or not. And I'm agreeing with you, Jonathan. Here, you can tell things a lot easier with sound wise, in my opinion. But also, you said subtleties.
Yeah.
Subtleties is an important thing when it comes to a game like this because subtleties. When I was walking around in Fortnite, everything sounded the same. Your guns really had a slight difference in sound, but when it came to walking around, walking in a building, everything's excessively loud. There's no way for me to silently walk somewhere. Okay, in PUBG,
It's really hard to sneak.
I can sneak around in a building.
like
I can silently
actually-
walk, and the sound changes when you walk.
You can
into-
take your shoes off in PUBG.
you can take your shoes
You can
off
take your
PUBG,
shoes off
and
in
you
PUBG,
and you walk
and
even
you
quieter.
have a little patter instead of the.
Not a
I've never done
right.
that.
So I don't wear shoes. I usually don't wear pants in PUBG either.
Yeah,
that's
you-
just
you
You don't wear
Drop
pants
it.
in real life.
that's. I mean, I'm wearing pants
Glad
now.
he's got them on today.
Yeah, but you have to.
Yeah.
Because
Okay.
otherwise, we wouldn't have let you in the door.
Well,
So let's
debatable.
talk aiming.
No, you wouldn't have been like
Aiming and like what we're saying, determining
Okay.
where shots are coming
Here's
from.
my response. Aiming sucks in both. Or maybe it's just me.
So I'm gonna jump right on this. Okay. Again, it's fresh on me. Fortnite's. I've been playing it for maybe 2 hours today. I was just trying to get used to the game. All I noticed that people were doing was jump shooting.
Yep.
There's no strategy. There's
Yep.
no anything. They are jumping and shooting around you. You are bumping and jumping.
And that annoys the shit out of me.
And it is dumb. I'm like, where's my
It's how they
strategy?
do it in battle. My friend
No, that's
was
what I'm
in
saying.
Iraq, and he jump shoots
Right.
all the time.
Yes. So jump shooting, I found
Oh my god.
I found obnoxious. Also, I like again a little bit more strategy.
agree.
So I can't. I play a lot of first person too. So I'm not as used to just a pure third person game. So I'm used to a first person look. But even in the third person, you could tilt. In
Yes,
PUBG,
and there's
you can
a-
use your tilt around corners to peek.
Another quick difference in PUBG, you can play in first person or third person, and even if you're playing in third person, you can switch to first person. You can aim down the sight. In Fortnite, you cannot. The only aim down sights you have are guns
that have
that
scopes,
have scopes
which is
or the hunting
which was
rifle, which
annoying to me. I was
doesn't
like,
have a scope but is meant to be aimed down sight.
Right.
So everything else is like it's a third person shooter.
right. Sorry.
But Game Guy says the aiming is fine in PUBG. The guns are stupid. And
Yes,
inaccurate.
they need to be
And there's
adjusted
that.
and fixed.
Which one, gals, is easier for you to aim? Which game do you feel like you're better at, PUBG or Fortnite?
I don't know. Probably Fortnite. But I also feel like Fortnite for me was like a great gateway to start playing PUBG.
Right, and I'm not disagreeing with that.
So
No.
if you had started with PUBG, or rather, let me rephrase that. Do you think that you enjoy PUBG more because you started with Fortnite?
Yeah. I think that had I
Yeah.
started with PUBG, I might, especially being like kind of new to this kind of gaming
Right.
and whatnot, that I might have been way overwhelmed. So I feel like Fortnite was kind of like a good baby step, and then it kind of helped me figure out other things.
Hey, Gaming Candy Bar, welcome. First of all, hello. Gaming Candy Bar is a good noodle. Unpopular opinion: both games look dumb, but I'm not its target audience.
I actually
Yes.
have to completely agree. Before playing PUBG, and before even playing Fortnite, I didn't much care for the notion of PUBG. I watched you play it one time, and I was like, okay, this is one of those take it too seriously simulators. Everyone's like, oh, if I'm not the best, I'm the worst. And like, oh, that sounds like frustrating. And then I started playing Fortnite with you guys. I was like, okay, this is kind of fun. It's just goofy, it's silly, and I like that it's not Call of Duty. Oh, I died, I'm just gonna get up and run again.
Who cares?
Like, it's actually skill based. And then I was like, PUBG. Oh, I'm a skill based player. It's all, and I was like, oh god, I became the thing I thought was going to be a downfall. And now I'm like, I'm sold.
If you were not an online competitive gamer, and no, let me rephrase that. If you dislike online competitive gaming, there's probably nothing here for you with either one, because that's all it is. Oh, Fortnite has a save the world aspect to it. PUBG has indicated that they have a campaign coming down the pipe somewhere, but that's not the point.
And here's where we're
talking about Battle Royale.
Kind of disagree with you a little bit, Steven.
Wait, what was your thing?
I was just gonna say, answering the question about aiming. Wildlands greatly has helped me be a better player aiming wise in PUBG, because the graphics are similar, and otherwise, I mean,
the precision.
Yeah, I think that's helped.
Yeah, go ahead.
When I'm in Fortnite, we were talking about the shotguns, because those kind of, we'll talk about that, but like the shotguns are kind of a open blast. I don't have
a bullshit weapon.
Yeah, I don't have to.
Let's just put out it's a bullshit weapon.
I don't have to be as accurate in Fortnite when I'm using a shotgun, but I think that I'm a lot better at aiming now because of stuff like Wildlands.
The other thing, though, that you don't play on console, you play on PC, so this doesn't affect you. But because we're console gamers primarily,
you know exactly.
Candy Gaming Bar, thank you for the follow. Thank you for joining us in the gutter. And you keep being a good noodle gaming Candy Bar.
Yeah.
There is in most. Actually,
I know where you're going with this.
In every console game, because when you're playing on a PC, you have a mouse, and you can very precisely point that mouse to what you're aiming at.
Wherever you want to aim at.
On consoles, it's less precise, so a lot of shooters, every shooter, give you a sometimes slight, sometimes not so slight auto aim. So when you aim towards something, it pulls you a little towards. So it's supposed to guide you a little bit to sort of finish your shot. Halo does it. Halo sort of pioneered
No. Halo doesn't do it. I'm just very good at Halo. It doesn't help me. I'm good.
Halo on Xbox, the original Halo, pioneered that kind of like gentle auto aim, and you don't really notice it, except when you're sniping and someone walks in front of you, because it'll pull, and you'll go, "What the fuck?" You know. So that Fortnite has a gentle auto aim to it. PUBG on console has 0. Yeah. It is the only shooter that I know on console with 0 auto aim assist. And it fucking, I don't know. Having played it and gotten pretty decent at it, I think consoles can do without it.
Here's my argument for it. And I was talking to my buddy Eric, who I was playing with yesterday. He's ex-army Afghanistan. He's like, okay, I like this game at a distance. If I'm within like 20 feet of a person, I hate this game, because if I'm within 20 feet of someone, I'm going to have sights on them and take them down. In this game, somebody with a hatchet has just as likely a chance of killing me, because he can strap left and right. And PUBG, the joystick.
Wait, he can what?
Well, Jonathan says strafe. I say strafe.
It's strafe.
Strafe.
It's strafe.
Okay.
I've always said strafe.
Random.
Good thing.
It's random.
But the point I'm making is that the close combat with guns is horribly inaccurate to a realistic simulator, which the rest of the game counts.
Well, in comparison, Fortnite's 10 times worse than.
I agree.
Okay.
But that's why that is why I think the auto.
That's why he thinks the auto assist helps, because if you're up close range, a gentle auto aim helps, because you're saying in real life, if someone's that close to you, you're not going to miss them, because your hands and hand-eye coordination is different from what is in the game.
And you're not aiming your body with a joystick.
Right. Yeah.
My question is to you regarding that aspect, though, is what's your sensitivity to it? Is it set at full blast where you can do whatever you want as quick as you want, or is it set at a guided sensitivity?
And that's a good point, too.
My sensitivity, I always lower.
So you make it slower. So what I'm saying is that if you had, in that realistic fight, if you had your sensitivity turned up, you're going to see him, and you're going to go like that, opposed to going like this.
Right,
but with a 30-pound gun, you're not.
But, there's a difference, though. Keeping your sensitivity way up means you can turn better. So if someone walks by you, you can quickly turn to them more realistically than you could. But if someone is near you and you're trying to aim, especially aim down sight, you can slowly aim. You want that way down. It's easier to aim, but it's harder to turn.
Right. And
with
actually,
a low sensitivity.
I wish they had an ability. That's one of the things.
Do you guys change your
for first-person
sensitivities at
shooter,
all?
I wish they could.
In the aiming
If
sensitivity or
I'm
anything,
being
gals?
honest, I
don't
didn't even
know.
know
I
that
just
was a
don't.
thing.
I typically don't even
I know
fuck
what
with
you're
it.
talking
So
The only thing I do
Heavy.
change is
I was saying it.
They are-
when
they
you
are.
push up or
I are.
down.
you make sure that it's not inverted. You want to press up and
Yeah.
look up.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
So
Hey, Sayonara, Brett.
I think that's one thing I would, and I'm going to stay off this topic for, other than mentioning this comment. I think that having a game that can distinguish between turning and aiming and have two different sensitivities, like a scope sensitivity versus a turning sensitivity, would be ideal.
And PUBG may actually offer that if you look in the menus, because there is, if you're using type A, if you're using type B, then when you pull the left trigger, you look down sight immediately. But if you use type A on console, if you tap the left trigger, you look down sight. But if you hold the left trigger, you just sort of fine aim. And I think you can change your fine aim.
But that's also where the sniper breathing comes into play.
Yes. And so, they don't have levels of guns in PUBG, but they do have, in place of like colored levels, they have the mods or attachments.
Attachments for the guns, yes.
Thank you. So you can find a gun, find a corresponding attachment to compensate for it, or to make it a silenced weapon, or to, whatever. So it's PUBG is. Would you guys agree with this? PUBG is more based on skill, and Fortnite is more
RNGs,
just random.
It's the Smash Brothers thing I was saying.
What were you saying?
I was saying that PUBG or Fortnite is like Smash Brothers Melee. I say Melee because that's what we played a lot of.
Sure.
With items on any level go. And that PUBG is more Final Destination, no items, skill-based only. It's tournament Smash Bros.
Right. Okay.
So it is
Now,
a competitive.
Day.
It is a competitive
Hello.
game.
this podcast was Daylaw's idea, by the way.
Oh,
So shout out to
yay.
Wait, he had that idea before I did?
You did. Yes, he was the first one to suggest it.
I hard debate that. I will.
You can debate as hard as you want, man, or as limp as you want. That's fine with me.
You can debate as hard as you want.
Always with the sex jokes.
As flaccid as
Do
can
you
be.
guys,
I
when
don't
you
like that word.
so in Fortnite, you can destroy things. If someone's in a house, you can, and this actually sort of goes into play with ammo. You sort of want a decent amount of ammo in PUBG so you can kill people, but in Fortnite, you want as much ammo as you can possibly get because you're going to be shooting through walls and shooting through things that people like constructing walls and ramps and forts and stuff like that.
Now-
So when you're playing in Fortnite and you switch to PUBG, do you miss the ability to just hack through a wall?
I
bust up?
do. I do.
Okay, explain. Whitney, first.
Calling this the lady bait.
Oh.
Because they're ladies in the
I don't like that aspect of it. A, because I'm not very good at building. So like if they're building, I want the level playing field. PUBG, we're all undergoing the same experience of trying to level up our gear and our accessories and our guns and everything. But in Fortnite, you're doing all of that, and you're trying to learn how to build on the fly
And
while
then micromanage your building.
yeah, and it's just I don't want to worry about having enough wood to build a massive ramp up to the top of a mountain. I'd rather put my time into skill, working my way up to the mountain, killing or avoiding people or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Sarah, you like the destruction.
Yeah, I like being able to run around with a little pickaxe thing and knocking shit down, and I like building around little custom forts.
Now here is where I'm going to come back into play with that specific thing that you ladies are talking about. So when it comes to the building and that aspect of the breakable things, right? In PUBG, there is breakable things. You can break glass, you can break doors with your gun. Okay, you can shoot through doors for people. Okay, and you can, and that's about what you can break. Now we can further go back into sound though. When you're building something, how loud is it? I know exactly where you are when you're building something.
It's really loud when you're hacking
Now,
away.
and so you can't.
Yeah, either when you're destroying or when you're building, there's noise to it.
So when that noise comes into play, granted, you can be a master micromanager builder if you Legos and stuff, and building your way to the ceiling and running around. But I'm also thinking of everything else. Backpack space. how the hell can you carry that much brick? How the hell can you carry that much wood?
Yes, yeah.
How the hell
One's
can you carry that much
simulator and
ammo?
one's
Like, I'm
Yeah.
like, what is this?
Nothing in Fortnite you will like if you want realism.
And that's
There's
where I
nothing
lean
about
towards
it you
PUBG.
will
And like,
like.
I'm not hating on it. I mean, it's a different game completely in that
Right.
aspect. But I'm like,
I like
What?
the creativity though of being able to, and yes, I did not at first. I was like, I really wish I could just shoot and not build, and so I didn't. And even when I won my first solo victory, I would build to sort of get up. Like, I'm gonna get up to that hill, so I'm just gonna do a little ramp and go up there. Because in Fortnite, if you see it, you can get there. In PUBG, like, you can't get on top of everything necessarily.
well, now that they added climbing, you can get
Well,
into
another
most
aspect
things.
is, and why I like playing with the being able to build stuff is I think it's the Save the World one with the zombies.
Right.
Which I know we're not really talking about that one in particular, but like with that, having that there, you can build your forts like against the zombies and everything, and I think that adds another
I
level
agree.
to
Right,
it.
and that'd be a different. I mean,
And in that mode,
in that mode,
It
I was gonna
makes
say that might
a
come
lot
a
of
lot
sense.
better into that type of mode.
What would make it me lean more towards the Fortnite is I like the building of bases. I don't like that the second you start building, it acts as if the entire wall is there and bullets can't go through it.
it doesn't. It does and it doesn't.
I know it's there's a percentage based on how much you've built, but honestly, I would rather it be a little more towards the like if I'm shooting at somebody and he drops a wall, I'm like, well, damn it, I didn't know you could build a wall in 5 freaking seconds and suddenly be protected. That frustrates me.
So if someone throws up a wall, it takes time for it to build up its
layer
HP. And if they throw up a wall and you shoot it instantly, it stops building. So if they throw up a wall and you shoot it a couple of times, it'll break. But if they throw up a wall and it completes its build process, it takes a lot more bullets to take it down.
Yeah.
But yes, if you are running through the field in PUBG and someone has their sights on you and they're a good shot, it's over.
Not necessarily. I mean, you'll be.
Yes.
Yeah.
For the sake of his argument,
Okay.
yes, you're over.
In Fortnite,
Serpentine.
if you found no weapons, but you okay, there's a bunch of trees here, so let's get a bunch of wood. I've got to make it across that field, and you hear zip, you can just blam start putting up panels, and you have something.
Sonabra had a good tournament.
A good chunk of Fortnite is being able to outbuild an opponent, which I consider a huge amount of skill. And I don't mean building up in a fort and waiting for people. I mean when you build right as a close gunfight comes into play and you're trying to get high ground and predict the enemy's building or movement. And Sayonara Bra has played a shitload of Fortnite. Sayonara Bra is in the Fortnite camp. And it was funny because I took a few quick notes here. I asked on Twitter and on Facebook, which do you prefer? You have to choose one. This is going to be the one that you have access to in this hypothetical world. Not which one is a better game, just which one you would pick. And Fortnite won on Twitter, but it was close. It was 8-7. PUBG won on Facebook, and it was not close. It was 8-2. Overall, combining those two, it was a 60% for PUBG, 40% for Fortnite. But the other thing, though, is if you look at the popularity of the games, Fortnite has a shitload more downloads, but you can't really go just based on that because, and this may be a big selling point for you if you're wondering which one to play, though, PUBG is $30. Fortnite is
Free.
$0.
But
But all of my students ask me, do you play Fortnite? I was like, yeah, but I mostly play PUBG. Oh, okay. I'm like,
No, there's-
okay. PUBG's
So,
better.
do you
PUBG's good.
know-
I'm like,
do you know
but
what the,
we play Fortnite?
Do you know what the top 3 games are on Twitch in terms of games being broadcast?
Yes.
Do you know number 1?
Number 1 is Fortnite. 2 is League of Legends. 3 is going to be.
World of Warcraft?
No, 3 is probably going to be PUBG.
Yep,
I was
you
gonna
got
say
it.
PUBG's gonna be in there.
Fortnite has almost twice the viewership.
45 million viewers.
That they had 45K specifically earlier on one specific channel. When I went earlier this afternoon and took numbers, Fortnite had 197,000 views on the game in total across all streamers.
Wow.
PUBG had 101,000. So it is almost a 2-to-1.
But in terms of profitability as well,
viewership.
last year, just to add to that, I mean,
Yeah.
PUBG did over $700 million
Right.
in 2017. And that was just 9 months of an open game.
PUBG sells their early access for $30. And then can you buy butt points or whatever they're called?
BP?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so.
You just earn them in game, right?
You can buy crates.
You can buy crates
Right,
though
you-
for.
I
I'm not
No,
sure.
you have to use your BP to buy
In
crates.
Fortnite, they do
You
have
to
microtransactions, and here's the plus and downside of that. So you can end up spending a shitload of money on a free game. But this is the thing that I do give Fortnite is that all of the customizable stuff in PUBG looks like ass. It's horrible. Like there's no, and again, it's realistic, so that's the point. Is
Right.
It's shirts and sweaters and
I don't want to look
caps
like
with mustard
fucking-
stains on them.
yeah.
In Fortnite, you can get skins that look dramatically different, and they're fun.
Like
and,
the Ginger Man at
and-
Christmas.
yeah.
Oh, that drove me
And-
insane.
Right? I hated it.
And this is what
I
also.
wanted to blow him up.
I only hated it because they kicked my ass so many times.
So to continue on your microtransaction
creepy.
point, Steven,
Right.
In PUBG there is some microtransactions as well because you do have the special locked crates that you have to buy a key with real money for.
Okay, that's right,
The
that's right. There are
specialties,
some
so like the there's a couple, but the
But-
250.
This is what I want PUBG to do, is to have a little more, and they will. They actually have some decades-themed crates coming up, at least on the PC version first, and console, I'm sure, hopefully we'll get it later. But like 70s, 80s, and 90s, and they look a little bit more fun. And that's what I want, a little bit more fun in PUBG, and I want, but maybe I don't. Maybe I should love PUBG for what it is and love Fortnite
Here's
for what it
why
is,
I'm
but-
going to continue with both these points. Yes, Fortnite's being very fun, festive. They have all their unique skins or whatever you have to go on for them, but that doesn't add to the strategy of the game. Those loud, those loud colors, those loud everything. I mean, regardless or not, when you're walking on the hills, you can't hide. They're like, oh, there's a person. Like, oh, hello, let's shoot it.
Yeah,
and then
hiding is the bush.
yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
But when you are playing PUBG, I don't want something neon orange and bright unless I'm like, having fun with my homies, like, and we're like going to be the brightest colors we can be and try and win, which we do on occasion. But I want neutral colors. I want colors that are going to make me blend into the dirt, blend into the ceiling, blend into the trees so you don't see me. It's more competitive style.
So, vehicles. They exist in PUBG, they don't exist in Fortnite.
Yep.
The Fortnite island is about 1/4 or 1/3 the size
Very
of
small
PUBG.
map.
So you don't need it. You can pretty much get wherever you want to by running. And yes, sometimes the storm catches up with you. And a quick note on the storm, when you're in the blue in PUBG, there's like a blue effect and you take damage. In Fortnite, the storm is like a fucking storm.
Yeah.
It's raining and blowing and wind, and I like that effect a lot
Yeah.
more. I would like a bit
Same.
more drama from my blue zone in PUBG, I think.
But which brings up that notion.
But two things: the vehicles and non-vehicles. Does that make you prefer a game over another? And then the same thing with like the storm effect or anything like that.
Vehicles or non-vehicles are not a selling point for me in a game. If there are vehicles in that game, I hope they're done well. They need to be done well. But other than that,
Right.
like,
I agree with Jonathan. I think it's a lot more convenient, and I'm happy there's vehicles in PUBG because it's such a
island is
large.
so big you have to have.
It's like a large
Right.
large
Yeah.
map.
Yeah.
like they made the island
Yeah.
big, so they gave it vehicles. It works. It's great. It's good.
And
But you had specifically though, Sarah, a desire, right? When you were playing Fortnite.
Yeah, like I think isn't there some cars in Fortnite
there's
that you
there's
can't
vehicles
use?
about. Like,
Yeah, but you can't use them. So like when I was playing it, I was always like, that seems kind of stupid. Like you can't.
Like, I want to fucking drive this
Yeah.
across the map. Yeah.
yeah.
well, didn't I hear they're making jetpacks for Fortnite?
So
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah,
this,
they are.
and this is the thing that I really commend Fortnite for doing also as well, is they try random shit. They're
Yeah.
like, we're gonna do a 50v50 for a week. See how you guys like that. Right now they're doing teams of 20. You can do 5 teams of 20
Wow.
and go into battle, and you don't have to do that. You can play the traditional mode.
Right.
But also like, okay, let's test out C4. Let's test out miniguns that can chew through walls, like destroy a house. Let's put in jetpacks, see what fucking happens. Okay, that's not
I like
working.
that.
And
I mean,
it's fucking fun.
I do think it's cool that they're being creative with
Yeah.
it. Now,
Yes.
I will say there's something I do like. I do like their gliders versus parachutes.
Having
I think-
custom parachutes or something like that.
I think that's really cool that you can, even if you want to, you can open up your glider at the very top and then close it and then reopen
And then
it
reopen
again.
it
use it
again.
like
Yeah.
at a high
And
point.
now if you
Yeah.
if you
Use it.
now in PUBG if you open your parachute, you open your parachute.
Yeah, I tried that once. I like totally was going back and forth, and so I was in PUBG. And I released my thing to try to like gain, and I tried to like, and I was like, oh, this
Yeah, you
is
just have
this,
to. In
this
PUBG,
is
you have to
realistic.
know-
It's not gonna just
Yeah.
like squeeze back
right.
up.
You have to know how to use your parachute. In PUBG.
Right, and
And I'll say this though, because Fortnite is a lot of their stuff is less intensive on the console, they can afford to make greater changes earlier, and I think
and the
that-
map itself has changed quite a bit actually
Yeah.
since it.
And I think
came
whereas in PUBG, because their game is still earlier phased and it's so massive, like any changes they make would eat up at the system. Like, if I wanted to, going back to the damage, I wouldn't mind it if guns could damage walls, but then that would mean destructible environments, and that would eat up a whole bunch more of the system, and therefore PUBG couldn't pull it off.
Right.
So I think in that sense, points to Fortnite for making it simpler because it makes changes easier to implement and try.
And so with that, making it simpler, and for me it felt more casual when I was playing it as well, because they added something in there that I wasn't even thinking about. Because when you're playing PUBG, you're in it, you are deeply involved, you know when the blue's coming, but the timer of the timers kind of bugs me.
Boo says, "Tell him when."
So the timers kind of bother me. Like, oh, the blue or the storm's going to be going for 2 minutes. Better get in there.
What?
So
He gave me his thoughts, but I'm trying to remember what he said.
Oh.
I don't remember. I really didn't think he'd even get in here.
I had a question about what you were talking about. I can't remember what it was.
Vehicles, the timer, the storm.
It was
I like
about
the storm effects better in Fortnite for sure.
in Fortnite,
Because it actually seems like a storm, and in PUBG it's just
Just the blue.
What's happening?
Yeah. Oh.
Nothing.
It's just your.
Why am I dying?
Yeah. A little bit more fanfare, please.
Yeah.
One thing that would be cool is
It's not a safe zone.
The gas mask's utilizable. Like, if you're in the zone, the
John
gas
had an idea.
mask
Yeah,
like
we've talked
makes
about
you
that
survive longer outside of zone. Would have been a great and quite frankly easy to implement change.
Oh my god.
And the people, I'm imagining there's going to be some pushback though, because the people that really play Fortnite, they are keeping in mind their ammo and their weapons, and then they're keeping in mind. So there's crazy things like.
I don't think they're keeping in mind their ammo, because they can pick up infinite amounts of ammo for the most part.
Well, yeah, but I mean, you're like, you're. If I don't have enough ammo, so if I have only if I have 50 rounds in an assault rifle, I'm probably not going to try to fire at someone's fort. Like, I have to do that, and being able to build does take an incredible amount of skill. So when I want to push back a little bit on saying that Fortnite is casual as a game, because you can just jump in and sort of goof around, and you can. But the people who are top-notch Fortnite players, though, are doing 1,000 thought processes in a very short amount of time.
That's true of every game, and that's my pushback. Is that there are games that are intentionally casual that people can still be really, really effing good at.
The thing that I do like about Fortnite that I wish they had in PUBG, so I want to know if you guys wish they had traps you could set in PUBG.
No.
No.
A little.
I'm the only one that fucking loves the traps.
I think traps could be fun.
Unless you could plant C4 on a tree,
and there's
they
my
walk
least
by
favorite
like a
phrase,
trip
if
mine.
implemented well.
Yeah.
It's like
A trip mine.
True.
Like a trip mine would be kind of
Going to a tree and then having to pull the thing across, and it takes time, and you stick it in the ground, and if they walk over that line, it blows up, and you can set it and forget it.
I do
a door
like
like
that.
something that manually locks the door and turns it into a wall, so someone has to find another door.
I'm thinking of like
Or
the
at
Indiana
least they have
Jones
to
That's kind of,
fight.
or jump through a window.
Like
or
that
shoot
would not
down the
be-
door, like instead of.
I don't mean specifically the cartoony spike.
Well, that's what
traps.
when
That's what I was
when I think
thinking.
traps, I think of like Indiana Jones spikes.
No, would you like to have a proximity mine or something
be
that
cool.
you could
that would be cool.
set somewhere clever and put some loot on it, drop a med kit on
bear
it,
trap.
or a big ass bear trap that locks them down? That'd be the
for like a
shit.
second. That'd be interesting to have in there. I'm not going to disagree with it at all, but at the same time, it had to be a realistic style trap that goes into a desert or forest map.
Okay,
something-
bear trap, a door block, so that they have to shoot down the door.
landmine.
Rather than just opening it, which kind of gives away their position.
Right.
And again, all of these, this is the kind of thing that Fortnite will fuck around with, and PUBG takes their game more serious in a different direction, so they may not want to try something crazy new because it could affect a whole lot of different things. But and this is something that Bouge Nasty, hey Bouge Nasty, says in the chat, is that it feels that the two modes in Fortnite are two halves of a game, and so he wants the Battle Royale experience to be more like the main game.
Like zombies involved?
I guess. I'm fine with there being two completely different things here. But anyway, another quick thing I want to point out, when you're getting shot at in these games, we mentioned the sound earlier is different, but Taco Man 181 has hosted us. Thank you, Taco Man. We appreciate it.
Hello, man.
When you're getting shot in PUBG, you have to listen. You have to listen to where the shot's coming from, and then you have to look and see if you can see their gun flash. Other than that, that's all you got. In Fortnite, it's more of a, hey, Taco Man, thanks for the follow. Hello, all you beautiful, amazing, wonderful. And hello, you beautiful, wonderful, amazing Taco Man. My
Hello.
goodness.
I like
That was
this
just
guy.
immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're in.
You got some-
Come on over.
Well, Sam
Hold
said
my
that.
baby.
But really finish. In
Yeah.
Fortnite, when you get shot at, and other shooters will do this, it will. There's an indication on your reticle in a color. So like it'll go red, left or round if it's behind you. So if you're getting shot at, you can see immediately where it's coming from, even if it's behind you. If someone's behind you and shooting in PUBG, you're gonna have to stop, turn, and like where the
fuck
is
he?
that?
Yeah.
And so
Yes,
do
free
you
tacos.
do you have a preferred of that?
I like the PUBG version.
I like the PUBG. I hated in Fortnite. I could watch the bullet velocity. The whole bullet streams at you.
Luigi.
It's me, Luigi. Hello. You were the second Luigi to follow us today, so thank you very much.
Oh, wow, what a
Taco Man
theme.
Luigi. You guys are helping us on our road to 300. We're so close. You guys are fantastic.
The
Anyway,
Luigi.
so yeah, determining where shots are coming from. Do you prefer PUBG's method, which is more real, or Fortnite's method, which is easier to read?
Like I said,
Sorry, this camera.
No, it's okay. I like PUBGs because again, I like to be more.
realism.
I want more realism. I want more competitive. I like that stress. I like to be like, where the fuck is he? If I'm
I
with a
like
team,
that
I'm like,
fear.
I'm being shot from the
Yeah.
north. I don't know where, but I'm running behind a tree. Like, and if somebody's got a better angle, they can snipe him out. But when it comes to Fortnite, I was like, oh, there's a bullet trail. I'm seeing all his bullets come at me right now.
And Day, we will bring that up in a second. I want to get everybody's response to that first.
And I remember a game when you and I were playing where like we heard the bullets, zoom, zoom, and I go, okay, and we turn around and I'm staring, and it's like the Predator movie. I'm staring at the hill. I'm like, where is it? And I see this tiny little flash in the distance. I'm like, oh, crap, there he is! And I immediately turn and I sprint like perpendicular to try to get,
Yeah.
that fear was kind of fun.
Another thing you can do, real quick, because I want to get you guys answers, because I just remembered it and I don't want to not mention it, is that in PUBG you can look around
Yeah, I
as
like
you're
that.
running,
That
and in
pissed me
Fortnite
off.
you cannot.
That bothered the hell out of
Same
me.
with the lean,
You,
left and
you-
right.
you can hit
do that.
control, but holding control, you can look
I
around, but
know.
it's also going to
She was,
circle
like, putting
where
her
you're
phone
going.
down.
Where you-
Yeah, exactly.
Or her tits,
Right.
you know.
Oh, sorry. Oh,
Here it
the
is.
Ghost Recon. Yes, it's me, Luigi. You were the second one, and thank you guys so much for the follows. But yeah, when you're getting shot at, do you prefer the PUBG way or the Fortnite way?
I mean, Fortnite is easier, but I think I'm gonna say I like the more realistic. Like you can rely on your instinct rather than having it spoon fed to you.
Okay. There.
I like that.
I guess I kind of agree with what Whitney said overall. But I think I've also enjoyed like streaming Fortnite with you guys, streaming PUBG with you guys more, because I feel like PUBG makes you have to work together more. Like in Fortnite, I feel like it's easier to do your own thing.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, no,
you
that's a good
really
point. I
rely on
really
your
agree with that.
teammates.
Dale says in PUBG you need to do a lot more looting than in Fortnite. That's true.
That is
in
true.
Fortnite you can jump,
Very true.
grab a couple things, head out.
As long as you got the ammo,
And
you're
you've
good.
got some ammo, you're fine. In PUBG, you're always... And I actually saw a tip earlier, last night when I was watching a video. He said, as long as you're looted up, if you've done your looting properly, stop looting bodies top 20. You shoot someone,
You don't need them.
keep moving. Don't need it.
Run- all you
you
need-
stop to loot, you die.
You're running. All you do is run back
I was
and
like,
get
oh,
meds.
that's a good point.
You're just getting meds, if
Yeah.
anything.
Good point. I am a sniper when it comes to Wildlands, says Taco Man.
Nice.
And yeah,
I'm a pilot.
and I like
I'm
Ghost
not.
Recon because Ghost Recon's auto aim is very slight. To me, it's not intrusive, but it still has like realistic bullet drop physics, so I have to aim
And the
a little
bullet
bit
after
nicer.
you fire them,
Hey, Smurf.
fire them in Wildlands, like I'll fire and be like, "Oh, that was off," and the bullet's like, "I got you, bro."
Yeah, it
It was the
So-
wind.
So I have a question for the people that play a lot more Fortnite than I do.
Sure.
So, how does loot sharing work? Is it just as easy as?
I mean,
like, because in PUBG, you can just drop something for your homie. Oh, med kits, here you go, pal.
it's
you
for-
need some ammo. Here you go, buddy.
For console, in PUBG, it is harder.
It is hard.
It is, but it's
That's because
and-
your UI sucks.
yes, it does, and we can't click mouse drag
I
drop
thought
things.
that Calvin for half a second said, "You all suck," and I,
I
was
know.
about to be like, "Let's throw down, bro."
Talking all caps, talk man. I love all caps.
Go
Whitney's
for
drink
it.
in his face.
But drop, you can. Yes, you can drop stuff real quick.
It's
You
risky
can
for everyone.
reorganize your hotkeys. You don't have a backpack in Fortnite. You can
Yeah.
carry
Well, I mean-
infinite ammo, and you can carry up to 1,000 of each
Yeah.
type of like wood, brick,
You're a
metal.
strong
But you
person.
have 5 things that you can carry, and you choose those 5 things wisely.
Now, also, how are the verbal descriptors Like if you're calling out, are you still using north, northeast? Or you're saying like look that tree over yonder?
Same thing. There's
the
a
same.
same compass with
Yeah,
the
there's
numbers.
We use the
compass.
numbers.
Okay, you use
But
compass
sometimes
up
they're
top.
hard to see. Sometimes I wish that they were
Yeah,
that they would change with the background. Which, I mean, that's really needy
Yeah.
of me. But like when
No, you want to see your compass all the time.
yeah, when it's the white sky and it's the white numbers, I can't make them out.
And then I'm like,
Over by that
over
one
there,
thing.
right there. Where I'm looking.
And you know the again, because the island's a lot smaller in Fortnite and the engine is a lot more solid than in PUBG, so you know you visit that bush or that tree. There are a lot of times when Calvin and I were first playing out, and we were making this joke earlier: is that a tree or is that a rock or is that a car?
Is that a car?
There's a thing over there.
Yes.
And we'd be running. We need a car, and then we didn't get it. It was a fucking rock, and you'd be pissed.
Yeah, and loot sharing in Fortnite says it's me, Luigi. On consoles, relatively quick and effective. So yeah, that's more or less the same. It's a little harder on console, on console and PUBG to switch out your attachments.
Yeah, I noticed that.
That's fucking ridiculous.
So also something else I noticed in Fortnite that they had like taunts. Okay, so if you kill somebody, you can dance and you can like play music,
and that makes noise.
Right,
Yeah.
and that's the thing that I was like, okay, it's kind of a cool idea. Like it is, you know what? I'll put some respect on it, but at the same time, I'm like, that's loud as shit.
That's
like
the point. That's the point.
Right.
I've hit that
But
many a time on accident.
But I kind of like the
I like the
idea
wave.
of being able to. Yeah, you can silently.
Like
wave
if you
at
could,
someone.
if you could do
I've
that,
killed
or like
someone and then been
moonwalk
like-
quietly, like
I think I have the.
They have quiet
okay.
emotes that you can do, but the dance one
Inside them.
specifically is noisy. And the thing that I like about that is you can make noise to try to lure someone to you. And in PUBG, you can do that by firing.
Or jumping and running and
Yeah.
and all.
Yeah, that's yeah. I wish I had some more noise makey stuff though.
and I know
Like a rattler.
I'm gonna ask one more thing. Can somebody tell me about the damn party bus? Because like I said, it's just like it is like a rave in that damn bus. Like listening to music, and you're like, and I'm
You
like,
know someone's
I'm like,
getting laid.
we're about to murder everybody.
Someone's getting it
Like
laid
why
in the back.
is it like a
Yeah.
death party? Is this like a
Disco
Itself as
party.
being goofy, silly, and it's
Sorry.
an environment
You're good.
where all the players are goofy and silly.
So I have a couple of random questions also to ask you guys here because we're nearing the end of our time. Taco Man, we will try to be, but we're nearing the end here. The Storm of PUBG, yeah. So I wish, and they have mentioned that they were going to tweak it by making it slower but more deadly. So you still want to stay out of it, but if you want to land on the coast, you may actually have a chance to make it in as long as you do keep moving.
right?
It's not like a death sentence.
Right.
I mean, I don't mind that. I don't mind that if I land on the southeast and it's up at the northwest. I'm
I don't
like,
either.
Oh man, that was a rough land. Better find a car.
Yep.
It changes strategy.
Yep.
Yeah. And you can't loot.
And cars are loud.
And you can't loot. Yeah,
I mean,
cars are loud.
I guess that does mean that, like, well,
It means you forego looting this game.
there's a downside that, like,
Means a
there's
rocket-
no suicide pill, so you're like, well, I guess I have to try for the next 30 minutes.
But there-
Well, yeah, there is.
I guess you could just
It's a
quit.
grenade.
One last thing that you wrote here, Calvin, before I move on to these crazy questions, actually. Do you want to get ready to hold that up?
Yeah.
I'll bring that over here. I hope you guys can see it. You may not be able to see it on webcam, but
But there's
yeah.
There it is.
There's no
goddamn pan.
in Fortnite. There's no. So you get a pickaxe or whatever your harvesting weapon is. That's also the only melee weapon you get, and it does a flat 10 damage. So that means if you land and someone else lands and neither of you have a weapon, you got a 50-50 shot of killing them.
But it's gonna take 100
It's gonna
health. It's take 10 hits.
10.
With a motherfucking frying pan, I hit you once in the head. I knock you
There are,
unconscious.
there are melee weapons in PUBG.
I
More
was saying,
damage.
I did not know. I did
And
not know that about the pan.
and the pan also blocks bullets.
Yes, I have done.
You hear
Yeah.
ping, ping,
Taco
ping.
Man's
It has
got a
covered-
very, very, very important question.
It has covered my ass.
Yeah, it
Like,
was
for sure.
literally
I've heard
covers your ass.
I've heard the ping.
What is
like
your
every time.
question, Taco Man?
But okay, and I'll throw some out there while we're waiting for
For the
chat questions.
taco man.
The hoodie.
I
Does
right
that
now-
one come in black?
We're gonna play. If we were gonna play a game, a quick game right now, squads.
PUBG.
What are you in the mood for?
PUBG.
PUBG.
PUBG always.
Same. Which do you prefer when you're playing in a solo and a group? If you are going to play alone or in a group, is there one that you prefer more than the other?
Fortnite.
Fortnite solo.
Yes.
If you're gonna play a game by yourself, you're gonna go into Fortnite.
Yeah.
Solo Fortnite, squad PUBG.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not a solo player very much, but I kind of might lean towards Fortnite if I'm just going to goof off solo by myself.
If you were to casually play
Yeah,
it
you
and
wanna
have
get
some
into
quick
it.
fun.
I don't stress out as much.
And the other day, like we had 30 minutes
I don't
before
wanna
we had to
hurt
go
my
somewhere, and I wanted to play a game real quick, so I played Fortnite instead of
I don't know, I think
PUBG
it's
because
just
I had
Complicated.
like 20 minutes or something, you know.
I think
So I can do that a lot faster.
Tuck 'em
I think
in.
it's
quicker game.
It's just
I think
black,
it is.
right?
I think it's just
Black.
black.
Yes, right now
Currently-
the hoodie that we sell is only in black,
Currently black.
but there is
You can
a
have any color you want.
as long as it's black. Yeah. Yes, yeah, just black. And the hoodies are about to be rotated out.
Oh.
So
What?
we're going to have a
Hey,
shirt.
winter's coming to an end.
Winter's coming to
Is
an
it,
end
is it about to be suns out, guns out?
in
Oh,
April.
Lord.
Where's the
Put
Gun
those
Nerds tank?
away.
You saw a Gun Nerds tank top. I
Come
would buy
on.
that.
Give
In
me a
April,
tank.
it will either be
What's
a Gutter
happening
Nerds
over
tank
there?
top or it will be a T-shirt that says "Stop saying hi to Nightbot."
If you do a new T-shirt,
Oh,
do baseball tees.
I like the
love my
Nightbot
baseball
idea.
tees.
Like baseball
I like
Oh my
baseball
god,
tees
I
too.
would rock a
Yeah.
baseball tee.
The
if
three-quarter
they're there.
sleeve?
Yeah,
Yeah, I like-
three-quarter sleeve with like an alternative color, like green. Yeah, green.
Black and green.
He's
Which
not
would
looking at me.
make a better movie?
Oh man.
PUBG.
PUBG.
PUBG has already
Like-
been made into a movie. It's called, what was that? Hunger Games. Therefore, I go Fortnite.
Actually, it would be more like Battle Royale.
actually-
Yeah,
the
yeah,
original
yeah.
Japanese
You're right.
one.
And I'm sure when they were making Saving Private Ryan, someone was like, "Oh, they've already made a World War II movie. Let's not tell another one." Battle Royale is an
And I'm
aesthetic
the
that
worst
you
at
can
that.
use to tell any story,
I know,
right?
I know. I was
So
just
which one which movie would you rather see? If they've announced one, which one makes you more excited?
Okay, so I think I would say Fortnite, but with the zombie style.
Like a Battle Royale and include the zombie aspect of it as well.
Or zombie and include the
Yeah.
Battle Royale aspect.
Okay,
Yeah.
very cool.
Yeah.
And you said PUBG.
Mine PUBG because there's so many hysterical aspects you can do because there's already people that on YouTube have made some like fun videos
Yeah.
where like you're like, oh, I see
You
the
can
crate
make your
and
own
like
fun in
you
PUBG.
there is some funny. I will show you, Jonathan.
Like
You'll
red
lose it.
versus blue, but
No,
in
like
PUBG.
in real life.
There are crate drops in both games for the record. Like, because you mentioned
Yeah.
crates, I just want to remember
Yeah,
there are
there's
crate
crate
drops in
drops in
both of
Would
them.
do PUBG because then we'd get to finally figure out where that place actually is. Because I don't know if it's like some
Oh,
part of
yeah.
China.
It's off the coast of Russia.
I don't.
Yes,
Is
it's,
it
Ru-
really?
it's Russia.
Because well, I guess that makes sense. Why there's also a bunch of Chinese. Because I swear I've seen like Chinese
Yep.
spray painting everywhere
Yes,
too.
yeah.
And that makes sense.
That's why you hear people say China #1.
I don't hear people.
Oh,
You
yeah,
don't?
people
That's a
say
big
that.
I heard
PUBG
Calvin
thing.
say
like-
that just
of
now.
like-
And
That's a
now-
big PUBG thing.
Like the,
I've never heard
I
it.
think
I
the
don't know what
point,
that
I
is.
guess, is that the island because there's the buildings are Russian, the lettering's in Russian.
Well, like
but
Pachinki and all. Yeah, it's all.
yes, and the
Russian.
names of the cities are,
I still
are
call
Russian
that
cities.
place Tlinsky, and I don't know why.
It's not.
I'm just rolling.
You're good. But yeah, there must have been some sort of battle there. Like again, they sort of have a stage of like we have a campaign that we would put in there somewhere. But
Quick question. So we're talking
Yeah.
about maps and stuff. Now I know Fortnite has one map.
yes,
That's like for a battle royale.
yes,
Yeah.
So PUBG has 2.
right.
Okay. Is there
And on console, PUBG has one.
Okay.
I will say.
now
that's it. Go ahead.
and is there weather?
There is no weather in Fortnite, but there is time of day change. You could land in the morning, and by the end of the match, it could have changed to night.
That's kind of cool. I'll give it
and
that.
in
That's
PUBG,
kinda, but
You're stuck at
you
whatever.
got dusk,
are at
day,
whatever you are.
You got dusk, day, fog, and rain.
We don't have this on console yet, but when the map loads up, it will be that way forever. And I've played Fog Map on PC.
It's scary
and
as
scary
shit.
because you can't use scopes.
The 4-time scope is useless.
Yep.
8-time
You
scope
can't see
useless.
shit. So you just
can't
gotta
see
like
the.
listen and
That makes me excited.
God.
It is scary as hell.
it's good shit.
Cool, I'm on board.
There's so much more to say probably about both of these games, but since we are at the end, I want to know now. We've gotten there. Which one now, in the heads up, which one wins for us here? If you choose one in this hypothetical that I'm giving you, it doesn't mean the one game's better than another. But which game would you rather have access to forever?
PUBG.
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 Yeah.
PUBG? Same for me.
You know what's funny?
And
is
it
that
kind
in
of
our
goes.
arguments, I feel like we almost in many ways talked about how Fortnite is better
Yeah.
about so many things, but
But
These
PUBG
are
has just a better
vastly
package.
different games.
Like so,
Yeah.
like I was mentioning earlier, Epic Games made a great idea. They put it together very well. It's very fluid.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like I liked their UI. Even when you open it up, you have levels you can do. They have the little things are really cool about their UI.
Right.
But at the same time, it's very casual. It's very simple. And if you like to be that competitive gamer, if you like to have a higher stress level, if you like to have something to go like push you with your friends and be more tactical, PUBG's your game.
And I'm sure there's some pushback there, like I said, with the really hardcore Fortniters that build
Fortnite
and
can
stuff
be
like that.
very,
but
very strategic, but
Right.
PUBG was built to be
strategic.
and
Yeah.
realistic.
I think
So,
for me, the thing that swayed me the most is just my experiences with gaming with others as to why I would pick PUBG for long term, because like I said earlier, Fortnite, I feel like you can easily play by yourself or with just two people, but I feel like PUBG is like
more of a
Yeah.
Do you feel like so to me I have just as much fun playing Fortnite in squads as by myself.
Yeah.
Like it's goofy. I go in, I shoot people, they jump around, and that's annoying, but whatever. Then if you guys, I will bring up the can in just a second. If you but in PUBG, it really shines in squads.
Oh.
It's like it's a different game in squads than it is solo. Fortnite is fun across the board, but like PUBG especially shines, I think, in squads. It's where it really.
It does, and I just wish it was hashtag esports ready, because PUBG is not fully polished. Like I said, I think the Fortnite is actually a more polished, smoother running game than PUBG. But at the same time, like, because PUBG still has a couple errors, a couple things still going on with it, I think it's going to get to that point where it's going to be a lot smoother.
Well, already, like, we woke up last week and PUBG ran 100% better than it did the night before on console.
I remember
when we started, like, oh my god, this is actually what, like, 30 frames solid feels like instead of sometimes 15.
Or 60.
So,
Boosh.
he says he screens
So,
himself.
the last thing that we do before we call it a night is we go to the fan can. If you guys want to add a question to the fan can, if you just want to ask a question, you can throw it out there and we'll answer for you in chat. But if you want to ask a question to the fan can, then we'll draw a random one at the end of the show. Might do 2 tonight because we have a shitload of them in here. You can add a question 2 ways. You can tweet us at Gutter Nerds using the hashtag FanCan, or you can redeem Nerd Cred, which is our loyalty system. And
you can also text Steven at 817.
Just kidding. Not even my area code.
That was
smooth.
That was good. But Booze does have a question. What is best in life?
I know what
Do
it
you know
is.
what is best in life, Whitney?
It's
Steve-O's potato aim has followed. I'm guessing that's day.
Or game guy.
it's
I think it's day.
it's a quote.
Thank you, someone.
Like this, hearing the screams of your enemies and like pillaging their villages and
Crazy Smurf says the greatest showman is best.
Yes! Oh, sorry. Yes!
The only part of what is best in life I know is the lamentation of their women.
That!
That's the only thing I know.
And but it's the rest
What
of it.
is
That's
it?
the
It's-
lamentation of their
To crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and to hear the lamentations of their women. Mongol.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah,
That
that.
was very nice.
good.
That was a very
That was
nice
very good.
detour.
Yeah.
If you ask Google what is best in life, it will tell you what
It'll
is
give you
best in
Conan the Barbarian.
life. So, Jonathan, do you want to grab a random one?
I would love to, since I do it.
And Sarah, would you like to grab a random one?
Okay.
Okay.
The Bernardez family. I'm guessing that was Day because I haven't heard from Dan in a little bit. I appreciate the follows.
Yeah.
I do.
This one says,
I'd rather them not be ghost accounts. I'd rather them be active people.
has anyone really been far as decided to use even go want to do look more like?
Okay, does anybody want to tackle that?
Can I just get a match?
What?
And tackle it with fire?
The answer is yes, all the time.
Yeah, I think probably 70%. Yeah.
I need to read
Anybody want to tackle that?
I need
No.
I need to read it.
No.
You don't want to tackle it, or the answer is
I
no?
went cross-eyed.
I don't understand. No.
I don't understand.
Let me
It's
read.
poor grammar. I
It's
no.
meant to be. I
No.
think that's
It's-
like a
I don't
It's
get
a
it.
silly question.
Yeah. No.
It's a silly question of just, I think Master Charles just hit his predictive text over and over again. Because Master Charles likes to add stuff to the fan can and redeem nerd cred. So I think,
He's like, I don't want to do
but, but the whole point of the fan can is that we will answer every question, no matter how
Yeah.
stupid, as long as it's not evil. So you don't have to answer if you don't want to. You can say, Master Charles,
Catalyst.
you suck. Hey, Catalyst, welcome.
I just feel like it's a jumbled up question.
Yes,
I
it
don't
is.
It's like- it's
That's
like-
the point.
Okay.
My answer is I don't understand.
I worried
The greatest showman.
Is the answer. What do you have? Nerdez.
It says, "Am I redeeming too many questions?"
Never.
If it was before that question, I would have said, no, you're doing great. After that question, I'm like, pump the brakes.
The greatest showman.
Do you think that whoever did that is redeeming too many nerd cred?
No, I just
Still
think
Master
they
Charles.
should ask a real question.
No, you're
Okay. What about you? Cal?
I think it's fine. You ask whatever you like, buddy.
Oh, Boosh Nasty answers. Yes, I was being asked who was very weak.
You hold the Potato.
Feel the potato.
You merely adopted the potato. I was born in it.
I was
I want to get
born a
Steve-O's
potato.
shirt that
How many
says
times
that.
have you seen that?
I've only seen it once,
Nice.
but I've seen but I've listened to the soundtrack. I kid you not, 100 times at
A
least.
million billion.
And like I said, I play it on the piano every day.
I've yet to see it.
Guys, thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. And for the new followers, you guys are getting us very close to 300, and our goal is to hit 300 by the end of March. You are fantastic, and we're on track, and you guys are kicking ass, and we love you. We do have sub perks, so consider subscribing to our channel. You can see the sub perks in the panel below, underneath. And if you're watching us on YouTube or listening to us on iTunes or podcast services, feel free to come over to Twitch. That's where we'll chat with you live and interact with you, like we've been doing with our chat here. You can also follow us if you're watching on Twitch. Down there on social media, we have Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube.
It's right by the handle of the pop pan.
Yeah, right there. It's Gutter Nerds in all of those places.
Look at the
And
pan.
oh yeah, and the motherfucking pan. That's your butt cover right there.
Good night, Steven. No.
But YouTube has our highlights. We basically collect our Twitch clips and put them up as highlights. So definitely check out those places. My name is Steven.
Calvin.
Sarah.
Whitney.
Jonathan, just gravy, baby.
Good night, Steven.